The Run with Manny Wilson podcast is brought to you by Fifth Investments. Sports betting is cool, but you can really get the most out of your money trading in the stock market. You can make money when stocks go up, and you can make money when stocks go down. But all you need is a little guidance. So use the Fifth Investment Stock Trading Journal to help you get started right away. Fifth Investments is a fantastic resource for daily trade ideas, market analysis, news, and information for navigating the stock market. They got you covered with long-term, short-term, options trading, and more. So go to fiftinvestments.com and use the promo code THERUN for $20 off your premier membership, or just sign up for free. Trade the stock market and perfect a skill that's going to last you a lifetime.
The information is not trading or investment advice. The newsletter is only a personal blog that is being offered publicly for general information purposes only.
Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Run, the Manny Wilson podcast.
The best sports podcast there.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. And today, we're going all the way to Baltimore with our guest, Tyree, host of On the Hot podcast. He's here with us today on the first interactive sports podcast. You know, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something I say or you hear something Thomas says, go ahead, give us a call at 219-413-9405. Thomas, what's going on, bro? How you feeling, man?
Good. Can't complain. I'm thankful to be on the podcast today.
Thankful to have you.
That I would like to do more often is collaborate with people that love sports that I do. I see that you're very passionate about sports. So
Absolutely.
Very thankful to be here today with you today.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm glad to have you on here, man. We got plenty of things to cover. It's been a lot kind of going on in the NBA world since teams been getting eliminated left and right. But the first things first is the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets game one. A lot of people want to talk about this. Some people said Denver in 7. I've heard Denver in 7. I've actually heard Denver in 5, which is insane, especially since it's one game. But the Denver Nuggets, they beat the Los Angeles Lakers at home in game one. They won 132-126. And the Denver Nuggets are 7-0 at home in the playoffs. So what's your thoughts right off the back of, like, you know, Denver taking the series, Lakers taking this series? Who you got first off right off the back? Let's hear it, man.
I've actually been a believer in the Lakers since the get-go.
Okay.
I'm gonna ride with it. Yeah, I'm gonna ride with them still. I'm gonna go Lakers in 7 to knock them off in Denver.
Ooh, okay. You know, I'm not too upset about that. I respect it for the fact that you said at least 7 games. Like, I still personally don't have my pick, and to be honest with you, bro, I could care less about who actually wins. But I just want to see a great series. And I think it's going to be hard to beat LeBron because we know what type of player he is. We know the IQ he has. We know the type of control he can have over the game. Especially same kind of goes with Anthony Davis when you talk about controlling the game, and also Jokic. There's so many great players in this series. So when you start talking about Lakers in 5 or Lakers or Denver in 5, I think that's just crazy to me. So I off the rip, I respect a 7-game series. I respect a 6-game series. And in game one, what I noticed was that Jokic went off. I mean, everybody watching kind of went off or noticed that Jokic went off. And to me, he's finally about to get that recognition that he deserves of people seeing him as a true MVP candidate. Like, watching game one, that's nothing new. He's been doing that for the last 3 years consistently, just like in the playoffs, in the regular season, game after game. What's your thoughts about that, bro? I got to hear what you think about Jokic and MVP and just like kind of watching him in that game one.
Yeah, I think game one, like you said, I think he's proven that he's one of the best players, especially in the playoffs. To me, he could have had the chance to win his 3rd MVP this year, but something I heard from him before the playoffs started saying that he wasn't concerned about winning that third MVP. To me, it seemed
Yeah.
like he was more focused on winning his first championship this year. So
Yeah.
once I heard that statement from Jokic, I knew we were going to get some special performances in the playoffs, and he hasn't let his foot off the gas pedal since the playoffs started.
Man, literally has not, bro. The other night he went crazy. Last night, the 30-point triple-double, that's something he's been consistently doing. And then, like you mentioned, too, him not really even caring about the MVP, like more so just focused on, I need to win a championship. I'm trying to win a championship. And I can kind of tell that difference, too. To me, it looks like the whole team is in that mindset. When you look at the way the role guys are even playing, or when you look at the way Jamal Murray is even playing, to me, that's kind of what I've been witnessing from them. But quick thing here. We got a voicemail about the MVP. I wanted to play it back. This was someone, they were talking about Jokic winning the MVP. This was actually before they announced that Joel Embiid was the MVP winner. But I thought it was interesting. I want to hear your thoughts on it. So I'm going to go ahead and play this voicemail back. Let's hear what you got to say about it.
Hey, Manny, what's going on? It's turn me up _ JC, man. And if we being completely honest, bro, if Jokic does not win a third MVP this year, they cheated, bro. This man is playing unphenomenal basketball, and when Russ was going on his triple-double streak, it almost was like a guarantee for the MVP. So I ain't got to change just because bro went back-to-back. Come on, man. Fair is fair, right is right. White boy know how to hoop.
So what's your thoughts? I want you to touch on that. If you had to respond to that, let's hear it.
I mean, the way he said in the voicemail, that's kind of how my opinion was until like the final 3 weeks of the regular season. I thought Jokic had that in the bag because he was averaging a triple-double. As you know, the Nuggets were the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, so he helped his team do that. But the way I just saw Joel Embiid just pull away from the race, I just thought he deserved to win it due to the fact that he was dominating for the last 2 to 3 weeks of the regular season. So to me, it's not a wrong answer. I feel like Joel Embiid deserved it, but if it were to go to Jokic again for a third time, I feel like there wouldn't be a right or wrong to that either.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you too, bro. And I think you hit it right on the nail where you're saying it's really not a right or wrong answer when you talk about MVP, because although Joel Embiid got sent home, his play was still phenomenal, minus that game 7. Minus the game 7. But his play was still phenomenal, through the course of the regular season. It's a regular season award at the end of the day. So I 100% agree with that. Anything you want to add to the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers game 1 about what you've seen and what you may be able to expect coming game 2?
Yeah, game 1, right off the bat, I thought they made a bad mistake. The way how they were running the offense. They started the game with small ball. I thought they should have not did that at all coming into game 1 playing in Denver. They had Austin Reeves, Dennis Schroeder in there. Dennis Schroeder in there.
I got you.
Yeah, D'Angelo Russell playing them 3 playing alongside LeBron and AD. I thought that was a bad mistake coming into the game.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, man. I seen they posted that it was going to be Dennis Schroeder starting and stuff. But minus, like, even the lineup. I don't think anything was wrong with that lineup. I more so believe it was the way they started the game. The way they started the game was so sloppy, and it kind of put them behind from the jump. So now when you start that way, I said plenty of times, like when you start off bad, it can be fixed. It's not really always about how you start. Sometimes it's about how you finish. But when you start bad, you're playing from behind right away. So when you're playing against the Denver Nuggets, who's running like that, and they're balling, they're getting the ball up court quick. They're throwing these live passes. They're throwing these far passes. They're making their threes. Denver played a great game last night. It's going to be that much more difficult to try and crawl your way back up to win. And like Denver was up 21 at one point. And I'm pretty sure in that first half, Denver they outscored them each quarter, minus the third quarter. But that was like kind of when we seen the Lakers just start rolling. They started picking it up. They played better defense. They were in striking range the whole time between 10 and 12 points. So they weren't getting beat down. They weren't getting blown out like we thought at one point, because starting the game off, that's how it looked. It looked like they was about to get spanked. But eventually, Lakers, they did end up pulling their way back. They ended up crawling back and staying in striking range, which is dangerous because if you keep LeBron in striking range, at some point, the game is going to get close, like we seen. That was exactly what we seen. So I don't know. I think it's solid. Who's your prediction for game 2? Who do you think is going to win?
Game 2, I'm expecting the Lakers to get it done in game 2. I think, like you said, yeah. The reason why that is, like you said, I think they'll learn from their mistake from game 1. Starting off slow, offensively they started off slow, but defensively they started off slow. Something you really haven't seen throughout the playoffs with them, with Darvin Ham, who is a defensive guy that loves his guys to play some hard-nosed defense. So I think they're going to start off way faster in game 2. I think that's going to lead to them winning game 2, the series being 1-1, heading back to LA for game 3.
Okay, I can take that, and that sounds pretty accurate too. I think I'm going to give Denver another win in game 2. I'm going to give them another win just for the fact they're 7-0 at home. They haven't lost at home in the playoffs, and they still got this home court advantage. So eventually, if the Lakers do want to win the series, they're going to have to steal one. But I'm almost positive Denver Nuggets' primary focus in terms of this series is let's protect home court. We have an advantage of playing at home if there's a game 7, so let's protect home court. And as long as Denver can do that, they'll honestly win the series. And I know what this is sounding like, so I'm going to just go ahead and say it, man. I'm going to go the opposite of you, and I'm going to go Denver in 7. I think I'm gonna just go Denver in 7. Let's do it. And that may be because I like being a villain. So that could be the reason. I heard you say Lakers, so I'm gonna just say Denver. But you said what?
I said that works.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully though, I do believe I do believe Denver Nuggets can probably take it in 7. It's gonna be a toss up, but hoping 7 games either way it goes. It's got to take it game by game at the end of the day. All right, man. So look, we got more coming up. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to jump into the Phoenix Suns. They had to fire their head coach, Monty Williams. Now there's some speculation of if Kevin Durant is going to be leaving, if Devin Booker is going to be tossed around somewhere. Like it's all kind of speculation. So we'll talk about that in just a sec. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. My guest is still sticking with me. Thomas is here with me, so don't go anywhere. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. I'm still here with my special guest, Thomas Tyree, host of On the Hot Podcast. You got to check that out. It's on iPodcast and more. But look, man, more importantly, let's talk about the Phoenix Suns. We seen they got the boot in the semis against the Denver Nuggets. Jokic was not having it. And they fired their head coach, Monty Williams, who's a pretty good coach. He has a great win percentage and all of that. So I'm curious, like, what else is going to happen with this team? They're talking about trading DeAndre Ayton. Maybe KD is going to go somewhere. We've seen him go to different teams over the last few years. So what's your thoughts about it, man? I got to hear this.
So I actually have a lot to say about the Suns.
Let's do it.
Starting off with the first thing you said, Monty Williams was definitely a mistake. They made a mistake firing him. Like you just said, the high winning percentage. He just won Coach of the Year not too long ago in Phoenix. And in 2021, they were just 2 games away from winning the NBA Finals. So I don't see, other than last year's collapse to the Mavericks down 3-1, and they blew that last year, I really don't see the problem or the reason why they fired Monty Williams this year. I think it was a bad choice for them right off the bat with that one.
Yeah, that was a questionable mistake for me too. I thought about it, and I'm all for, making changes if something isn't working. But I truly believe Monty Williams was not the thing that was not working with this organization. To me, you got to look into situations that you've been through over the last few years. Last year, they got put out early as well, didn't get the results that they wanted. But there was a lot of dysfunction going on in that locker room before they traded to get Kevin Durant. Now you get Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant doesn't even play 40 games for this team, but yet you're going to put the blame on somebody else. To me, it was less of a factor of Monty Williams doing a coaching job and more so the experience of these guys playing together and actually building that relationship. When you look at all of these other teams that has won a championship, that go deep on a playoff run, all of that, they always have something in common. And I'll use LeBron as an example, just because I personally counted them out because I didn't think they had enough experience. The Lakers, I was like, no, they're not. Like, they just got a whole new team. But to me, when I watch these guys play, I watch them interact on the sideline, I watch the press conference, it looks like these guys genuinely like each other. And that's something that's extremely important when you talk about winning and going to a finals, going to a championship, any of that, is that the team genuinely likes each other. In Brooklyn, I thought it was good. I thought it was all good before KD got there. But I guess they just genuinely didn't like each other because you had Kyrie had beef with the front office. KD was cool with everybody, but I mean, it was just some dysfunction in there. And obviously they couldn't get all the way to where they wanted to be, especially when Harden was there. So to me, it's less of a Monty Williams type thing. And what's going on with the personnel? Like, what's going on with the personnel? Does this guy need to be moved? Do we need to add something here? Do we need to add this type of personality in the locker room? Is the type of things that I would personally be looking for if I'm trying to make these adjustments for next season if I'm the Phoenix Suns. Other than that, I don't think it was Monty Williams' fault at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I didn't know if you was gonna add something or not. What do you think about DeAndre Ayton? At this point, we've seen him have a great season. We've seen him have rough stretches in the playoffs as well. Should the Suns start looking to move DeAndre Ayton?
Yeah, I think that's a real possibility for the summer. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, I thought I was looking for him to step up in the series against the Nuggets. He was dominated and destroyed by Nikola Jokic in the 5 games he played. Obviously, he didn't play game 6, but yeah, he was dominated all the way around. We talk about points and rebounds. And I think it's best for them to move on, try to get some more pieces because the Kevin Durant trade, they traded away a lot of key players. Mikal Bridges, one of them. But they need to I think they need to add more of a bench.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some more shooters around the team also. So I don't think he lived up to his max contract, something that he was pleading for last summer. So I wouldn't be surprised if they move on from him this summer.
You know, I absolutely agree too. And like you said, man, he really got outplayed by Jokic. At one point, it was looking like, all right, he's a max guy. But when they brought Kevin Durant over there too, it really depleted their entire bench. They don't have a bench to really help them when KD, D-Book, Ayton, or Chris Paul is even out the game. And I know those are star-studded guys, but at the end of the day, you need somebody coming off the bench to give you a 16, or you need at least 2 people that's going to come off the bench and give you 8 and 8, like something, man. But I didn't see them have a lot of help. And then I got to bring up the question, too, because we put a poll up on our Instagrams, and there was people actually kind of, saying that KD might go somewhere else. So I got to hear your thoughts on it. Do you think Kevin Durant is going to be even open to looking somewhere else and possibly going somewhere else?
No, I think he's going to be there to stay with Phoenix. He just got there. And I feel like that him and Devin Booker are going to be the duo to stay in Phoenix. I think they both were in on the decision to get rid of Monty Williams out there. So I think they're going to grow together.
Right.
I also seen that Devin Booker tweeted 36 is fine in Phoenix, 35 Kevin, 1 Devin Booker. So I think they're going to be fine. I don't think he's going anywhere this summer.
I seen that too. I thought that was kind of cool. And to me, that looked like a stamp as if KD was going to stay. But man, as I've said before, we thought KD was going to stay in Brooklyn. We thought he was going to stay with OKC. I didn't think he was going to stay with the Warriors, but we seen what he did with he's been going around. So I'm just saying, like, I think he's going to stay with the Phoenix Suns, but it's that possibility that he might go somewhere else. Like, you just never know, which is crazy. And in the poll, actually, there was 54% of people said he was staying in Phoenix. There was 12% of people who said he's going to Denver because they lost to Denver. So he's got so they said he's going to Denver. A couple people say he's gonna run it back with the Warriors because they lost, and now they gonna need some extra help, so he's gonna run it back with the Warriors. And then, of course, you always got that percentage of people, which was 19%, said that he's going to the Lakers. And I don't even know why that was an option, but I'm like, whatever. But look, man, I know I mentioned too that, Kevin Durant's situation was ideal. I just want to play this voicemail for you, and then we'll move on to the next category here. But this is what someone said about KD. Remember I said, like, I thought he was content in Brooklyn, but this voicemail, they really kind of put some emphasis on why he should have never even left Brooklyn at all. So I want to hear your thoughts about this. Let me pull this up.
Yo, this is Vinny. I wanted to say something quick. Like, Kevin Durant, he shouldn't even request a trade. I think he got the perfect team. Kyrie to opt in. You still got Ben Simmons. They done signed Royce O'Neal. You got T.J. Warren. So it looked like they're not looking to trade him at all. So honestly, he should just stay put and not even look for a trade and just give it one more shot. Then if it don't work this year, then you go about your business. But you just signed a fresh new deal. Like, come on, you can't just the Nets did everything for him and just the up. That's crazy.
So it's crazy. So it is, as you hear, it's like a little bit outdated. But that's before, the trades and all that went down. So what's your initial thoughts on like how they kind of set everything up for Kevin Durant in Brooklyn, and then he ended up bouncing?
I mean, I will say they did set everything up with him. Of course, him and Kyrie were there together at first, and then in the first season, they went out to make him happy and get James Harden to play alongside of him. But then things didn't work out the way they did. The coaching problem was Steve Nash and James Harden bumping heads. Obviously, James Harden being traded out to Philly. They get Ben Simmons. Right. When they got swept last year in the first round, Ben Simmons wasn't even there for his team. So I can understand the frustration that was building for Kevin Durant. And then Kyrie Irving has his own issues at times, not being a full-time basketball player.
Yeah.
Honestly, last summer, I thought it was the right choice to go ahead and request a trade. I thought last summer, like you said some of the people that said on your polls, the Warriors, I thought he was going to make a run back to the Warriors last summer.
I mean, that would have been a solid option, honestly, bro. They would have been straight this year. I promise they wouldn't have had this issue of getting eliminated early by the damn Lakers.
Yeah.
Bron, I was going to say, Bron would have seen KD on that Warriors team again and be like, hell no. Man.
But yeah, to touch on that, I think that was the right choice for him to get out of Brooklyn because he's not getting any younger. He knows he wants to win a couple more championships if possible. So I thought it was best for him to get out of Brooklyn. I don't think it was the right team around him whatsoever for the long haul.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it that way and you look at how it's been played out and you look at how everything played out with Kyrie and Harden coming there and then having to leave as well, it does make sense. It's just, it's hard to consider, them leaving after a person says like, I want to be here. I want to play basketball here at this city. So it's always weird about that. But look, man, let's switch gears for a second here. Because let's move over to the Eastern Conference, man. The Eastern Conference matchup between the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. That series starts tonight. I need to hear some thoughts on this bubble matchup and this bubble rematch that happened a couple years ago when COVID was at its peak. Who do you think is going to take game one between the Heat and the Celtics, man? Let's hear it.
Well, first off, this is unbiased. I just want to say, but I am a Miami Heat fan, so this is going to be unbiased. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be my unbiased opinion how I feel about this series. But game one, Boston, I feel like they can steal game one. I do think it is possible for them to steal game one. Like you said, they've been seeing each other for a long time in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I feel like these teams know each other really well. I feel like Jimmy Butler is just waiting. He's eager. He's anxious to get in there and play in Boston in a hostile environment. I think they're going to steal game one.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice take. That's a nice take. I'm going to have to disagree, though. Respectfully. I'm going to have to disagree, man, because possibly they can take game one. But JT's coming off that big game. They know what they're going against as well. You got to remember, man, when they played the Miami Heat in the bubble, they ended up losing. They got some anger coming with them when they play this series now because people call it bubble fluke, but I mean everything that happened did end up happening. I've called the bubble fluke, but at the end of the day, certain teams beat certain teams, and Miami Heat was one of those teams that big brothered the Boston Celtics in the bubble. So now that they playing each other again, it's like they know what to expect. They know what he's going to bring. They know what the rest of the guys are going to bring as well. So I think they come out with an efficient game plan to actually stop the Miami Heat. And I actually think the Celtics will probably win this series in 5, to be honest with you, bro. In 5. I'm going to just go out and say it, bro. Crazy take like that, bro. I think they're going to end up taking it in 5, honestly. I know that sounds so disrespectful to a Heat fan, but
it don't sound disrespectful because we've seen anything can happen. The Heat knocked out the Bucks and gentlemen swept them, so I'm not going to be surprised if any outcome happens throughout the rest of the playoffs. But,
I think the Heat are definitely a solid team, but to me, man, they still need so much more out of Jimmy Butler, and they play hard, they play gritty, they run their plays to perfection. But at the end of the day, man, you still got to go bucket for bucket with the Boston Celtics. And if you get stops, then it helps. You don't have to go bucket for bucket as much. But, man, it's when they're both rolling, JT and Jaylen Brown, and the role guys are rolling, it's hard to stop the Boston Celtics. And even if their offense isn't rolling, typically, they play good defense. So, I don't know. I think that's why I really side with the Boston Celtics in this series. Maybe 5 is a little crazy. I might end up switching that up, to be honest. But definitely I got Boston Celtics winning this series for sure.
Yeah, I don't think that's a right or wrong answer because both teams know each other. My pick, I'm going with the Heat in 7 because, like I said, last year these teams even matched up against each other, and it was down to the wire with last year. And I feel like this is going to be I feel like this is going to be a revenge series for Jimmy Butler because he was one shot away from helping the Heat get to the NBA Finals last year. Missed that 3-point shot with 22 seconds. So I feel like that's been a burden on his shoulders since around this time last year. I feel like Eric Spoelstra is rolling with the guys. He knows what these guys are going to bring to the table every night, despite losing Tyler Hero and Victor Oladipo throughout the playoffs. He's done a great job coaching. I think that's going to be another reason why they win this series. But I feel like in order for the Celtics to win this series, I feel like Jason Tatum is coming off that hot Game 7 with 51 points. But at times, I feel like him and Jaylen Brown have started off slow in series. I feel like they've been inconsistent at times.
Very true.
So I feel like if they're gonna beat the Heat, they got to bring everything a full course meal. They can't start off slow. They got to be consistent the whole way through. Bro, from Game 1 to Game 7 or however long it takes.
That is facts, bro. I will say this. If they play around, and I'm already regretting my Celtics in 5, which is crazy. But if they play around with the Miami Heat, they will lose. Jason Tatum cannot have that stretch of horrible starts like he was doing in that series against Philly, bro. Starting 1 for 9, 2 for 13 in the first half, 4 for 20. Like he can't start like that. And if he does, the Miami Heat are probably going to eat him alive because although they may not have the flashy score or the star power like the Celtics, them boys get easy buckets. They play hard and they get easy buckets. You see other guys on the team like Kyle Lowry getting quiet 20 points. Bam sometimes get a quiet 20 points. You see bench guys sometimes get a quiet 20 points. Vincent is one of them. Get a quiet 20 points every here and there. So it's like if they play around, Heat will definitely end this series. They will definitely end up winning this series too. So I don't know. It's definitely going to be interesting. For Game 1, I know you mentioned that Miami can probably steal this here. I don't disagree with you. I think overall, I'm gonna go Celtics still. I'm not gonna put a number to it. I don't know. It's undecided. It's undecided. How about that? It's undecided for me. For me, if you had to call it, you calling who and what number of games, or you going undecided?
My pick. How many games?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm still going with Heat in 7. Yeah, Heat in 7. I think it's gonna have to take 7. Whoever wins this series.
I think you're probably right. I think you're about right. I'm gonna have to wait. I gotta watch Game 1. Game 1s are always like a fill out game, even though it doesn't really do no good for my takes. But if I watch a few games and then choose, that kind of sides the bias. But other than that, man, that's besides the point. But look, man, I appreciate you for joining me today, man. Anything you want to finish off with? You want to shout out your socials, shout out the podcast as well? Feel free to do so. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for having me on today. We had some fun talking about basketball. Hopefully, we can do it again. Whether I'm hopping on your podcast or you can join my podcast one day. We talk about basketball. But I just wanted to say thank you. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully, we do this more often.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I'm definitely down. And again, man, I'm definitely down to bring you back on as well, especially as more things heat up within the playoffs and all the drama heat up, and then the football, all of that. I know I mainly talk about basketball on here, but I peep, man, you cover everything. You cover everything. So if you're looking for more of a variety, that's where you need to check out right there on the Hot Podcast. He's covering everything that's going on in the sports world. So, and I respect that. But until then, man, you guys know where you can find me on Instagram at The Run Podcast. You can follow my personal as well at I am Manny Wilson. And if always, man, if you had a take, you heard something you didn't like, you heard something you did like, go ahead, give us a call, 219-413-9405. But until then, we will be back later on next week, and so on and so on and so on. The Run with Manny Wilson podcast is brought to you by Fifth Investments. Investing is the easiest way to double your money, especially when you do it right. Most of us need help with getting started, right? I'm telling you right now, Fifth Investments is the easiest way to take your first step. You can sign up for the Daily Trading Journal, weekly newsletter, including trade ideas, market analysis, news, and information on navigating the stock market. They got you covered with long-term, short-term, options trading, and more. So go to fiftinvestments.com and use the promo code THERUN for $20 off your premier membership, or just sign up for free. Trade the stock market and perfect a skill that's going to last you a lifetime.
The information is not trading or investment advice. The newsletter is only a personal blog that is being offered publicly for general information purposes only.